Instead, I'm going to have you stand up and I'm going to make an announcement. And after the announcement, I'm going to ask that um, you leave church quietly and don't talk about the announcement in the building, please, if you can, so y'all can stand to your
I'm
feet.
sorry.
Um, but before I make the announcement, I also want to say that my
Everybody
request
stood
to you
up.
is that you will continue to come to church and serve and give um, for the next, little bit. I don't want to. I'm taking a little bit of a break, and I don't want to have to worry about the church. My break may be a few days, a few weeks. I don't know. I got a call late last night. My
Look
wife
at
just passed away.
look at him.
Yeah, and it was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina. And we're gonna have a funeral for her next Sunday here at 3 p.m. And so it's all I can. Yeah, I'm just kind of going on adrenaline right now. So y'all pray for me and my kids and everybody. And she wasn't young, but she wasn't well mentally, and that she needed her medicine that was hard to get to her.
Now, I mean, that may be true. Some folks.
In watching it, I can't help but think about the value that he places on that role in the church and how that's so important to him. It's so important that he couldn't even miss it the day after his partner became deceased. And so, and then you hear in his voice, he sounds like he might be in distress. I guess anybody kind of could put that on if they wanted to.
Hmm.
And hearing it, it just seems peculiar that he would
Hmm.
be at the pulpit the next day to me.
He
Yeah.
talks about taking a break. Nope. About a week later, he's preaching at the service of her funeral, too. Take a look at that.
She was so creative. Everything she did was so creative. What's the
Look at this narcissist priest. He's not a priest.
next picture?
He's a cult leader.
She,
That's what
she
being
stopped filming it like to
exposed.
show her something. She said, "Stop! I want to get a picture." I said, "We're gonna be late." She said, "I don't care." What's the next picture? Next picture. So one of the things she did for me is I'm a comic guy, right? So this is things she did that was just out of the givingness of her. She dressed up like Mystique, the last one. So the next picture, she loved this picture. She thought that was the funniest picture in the world.
The demeanor there. Again, not charged
So,
with anything. He's
hold on.
innocent as of. But
This is an attorney, right? Mr. It's Mr. Eric Fadis. It's from Tony Bursky. I'm gonna link him below, okay? The odd behavior of preacher John Paul Miller before and after the unaliving. Let me just take the headlines off. No, I'm gonna keep captions. I'm gonna keep them on for those who have to read as well. Okay, here we go.
right now, I don't know. It just doesn't play well. It doesn't read well, if you will.
Tony, everyone has a different cry. I've got an ugly cry. I will admit to that. It's embarrassing. In hearing him, one thing I noticed is he's like sniffing in a lot as if he had like all this mucus from crying, but you can't really hear any mucus in the inhalation. Maybe I'm parsing this out too much, but I don't see any tears. And is it consistent with someone who just has a weird cry? Sure, but is it consistent with someone who's just trying to put it on?
Yeah, so I agree with him here. He is putting it on. I don't see any tears either.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, and he's the thing is, in reality, she had already moved on from him. She didn't want to be with him. He had accusations of harassment and many other things against him, even posting a topless photo of her online in revenge. He's a pastor.
Not very godly.
And exactly, he apologizes for it eventually. It was just up for an hour, is what he says in the apology letter. First denying it, then it came out that he did. He wrote the obituary as well, and
Oh,
half of the obituary is about him,
huh?
which is interesting. helped pastor JP with the church in every way. Micah was the worship leader, graphics designer,
I
youth
think
leader.
the attorney is smiling
Micah
or
made the
shocked.
greatest efforts to always be the best wife she could be. She truly served Jesus and her husband with all of her heart. She would praise her husband after every church service, telling him he was the best preacher in the world. Even
Yeah, that's why he lost the biggest supply he ever had. Supplier.
if it wasn't true. She also told him he was the funniest preacher in the world, even though that wasn't true either. Micah loved her family so much. I mean, a whole.
Oh, did you hear that? Micah loved her family so much. So why are you claiming now, JP, that they are at fault? This is how the narcissist project, and I'm talking about the truly malignant narcissist. I'm going to link another video below from Gavin Fish. He just released like 1 hour ago. It's very interesting, and it is the medical record and also the incident reports. How can J.P. Miller write it?
He's really controlling the narrative on this, or attempting to control the
Yeah.
narrative on this. That everything was kind of hunky dory, and people die. You don't want to say anything bad about them, but
J.P. would if he could, and he has. He's already done that.
I don't know. It just seems like he's really kind of grasping on here, going, "This is how I want people to see this."
Yeah, sort of this. We got this revenge porn preacher who's really making it about himself here in this obituary. It's sort of. I'm no psychologist, but some people might say that that's consistent with narcissism. It's consistent with him having this image of himself, and like you said, wanting everyone else to share that image, even in light of this horrible tragedy of his partner. He's still kind of the main focus in his mind, and that's just a bad look, man.
It's a little weird. Here he is online trying to explain.
It's a lot of weird. Yeah.
My wife was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, dependent personality disorder, and
Look
several
at that.
other
He looks like
diagnoses
a
by
teen.
different doctors at different times.
Look at his
all throughout the
ears.
past 7 years. The two diagnoses that stayed with her
Look at him.
every single year was schizophrenia and bipolar 2. Bipolar 2 is where you're super high and you want to give away $1,000.
You would know that, wouldn't you, JP? Yeah, you would know that because you projected all of your mental crap onto Micah Acacia, not Miller. She was never your wife, really.
Low is you want to end your life. And she went super high and super low many times over the years. And it was a struggle, almost a constant struggle.
What did you do?
But we got through it.
Because know that he's projecting here to hurt the family. And because the narc never take accountability, they don't see themselves as such.
And the schizophrenia is where she would hear voices.
Shut
that
up,
people that were not there. She
bitch.
played chess with people that were not
Pardon
there.
ma French.
Chessboard.
I know it's foul.
She would sometimes forget who I was.
I have no empathy for narcs,
She'd forget who she
malignant
was. I don't
narcs.
forget that she was my wife.
But
Sometimes she'd forget who her family is, things like that. And,
shut up, she did not. You heard his sermon just a couple of seconds ago where he said she loved her family and she still do. So JP, take your crap BS and shove it.
On March 11th, remember that date, you super sleuths out there are going to need to know that date for the future, but on March 11th,
And you know, Robbie Stinky Harvey, he should wear that word as a badge of honor coming from you. J.P. Stinky Miller.
and happened to kind of forever change the course of our lives. And she went really deep into schizophrenia and was delusional and accused accusing me of certain things, slashing tires or sending a naked picture.
She went deep into schizophrenia. Look at this one. He's currently, look at his eyes. Look at his eyes, looking into memory of his narrative. Because he has to keep up the narrative about Micah's severe mental illness, to keep up his narrative for the courts to come, from the interrogations to come. Oh yeah, they're coming. Wait and watch. Wait for it.
Or stalking her, things like that I didn't do. And,
It will happen.
And I found
Boom.
an Apple AirTag in my car, in my truck.
Like a tower.
And I assumed it was hers because I would keep seeing her pop up where I was at. Here's a video of I was at a gas station on March 13th, and I look up.
You can't even see it if it's Micah or another woman. Look at that. You can't see.
And she was hiding out or spying or something. And I began videotaping.
And did she ever have a blue car? Anywho, it could be Sissy Skinner and him. And made it. And then you're sad. It's sad that you have been able to operate. Psychopath.
Sometimes I would play with the delusion, like pretend like I was a double A.
I'm not gonna play this. It's this fake narrative. I'm not interested, and don't want to put it out there. It's just lies and projections. Oh, so this is where the video stopped. Huh. I don't know why. It's weird. Okay, we're gonna watch one more. What was it we just watched? It was not the Mystery Project. But okay, let's go. Oh my gosh, do you really have to? So this is Robbie Harvey. I'm subscribed to him. Please go subscribe to him because he's now under attack by JP Miller. Gavin Fish, you could be too. They could all have received, maybe not Gavin Fish, I don't know, but Robbie Harvey and a whole bunch of others have received cease and desists or whatever it is JP is trying to do here. So there was also a video about his father that I wanted to show you. John Paul Miller, look at that liar. And I will not show that. Turn to life. And Elise, love her too. Yeah, this is my log. Oh gosh, this woman just learned a bunch of things about, was it Sylvia Brown at Torrent Virtue. Don't know if you can see her name, but she's an amazing woman. The pastor's wife. Yeah, this is this one. Let's see what the people in Pakistan have to say about JP Miller and his father and the crew.
Hello, Brother Jerry. We hope you are doing well. We just want to inform you that we don't want to work with Dr. Miller and we
Dr.
don't
Miller.
want Dr. Miller in Pakistan. Also, I want to tell you, our church families and school students are not satisfied with them. Also, our team don't feel safe to work with them. We don't want to work with Dr. Miller. Dr. Miller started a ministry with us, and after.
So all these men are afraid of J.P. Miller's father, J.P. and crew.
8 or 9 months,
he focusing on only one family, and he's not paying attention to the church, school, and also Bible college. So that's why we don't want to work with him. We want to do the work of God. So if you wanna work with us, you can. Please, Dr. Miller, stay in USA and don't come to Pakistan.
Yeah, so yeah, they don't want him to come back. Here's the father. This is the Mystery Project, and he's using a video by Agatha May, which we're gonna take a little sneak peek on her last video she made, latest, I mean.
Was expired or that there wasn't enough. Another allegation was that the classes were a sham.
This is the
The
Mystery
students stated
Project.
that if they complained, they were threatened by Reggie with having their visas revoked or being turned over to
Gonna
immigration.
pin them below.
Reggie was arrested on May 22nd of 2014 and went to jail. News of his arrest was in newspapers across the country. Reggie eventually pleaded guilty to federal charges of fraud in foreign labor contracting, visa fraud, and willful failure to pay minimum wage.
That is crazy. Lord, thank you.
On August 14th of 2015, his wife Leslie filed for divorce. 2 months later, Reggie was sentenced to time served and placed on 1 year of having to wear an ankle monitor and 3 years of supervision. Happy divorce, Reg! And like a rubber ball that is made from industrial extra strength, super duper strong, resilient, never ending rubber that never quits, Reggie bounced back, and before long, he was once again operating a college. If nothing else, this man is chock full of tenacity and audacity. Now, here is one of the funniest and most pathetic things I've seen Reginald do, and he didn't mean to be funny. So after returning from being incarcerated, he figured out that if people searched for his name or the name of Cathedral Bible College online, his arrest would show up. So he thought he'd be slick and try to manipulate search engines to direct people to his missions website by using the same keywords that would show up on the news stories about his arrest. So here is
Unbelievable. Shout out to Julie. Thank you for the off the grid love. Y'all, thehauntedSide.com. Go check it out. All kinds of ways to support the show. Thank you for that, Julie. Very sweet of you. All right, let's keep on going. By the way, YouTube, hit the thumbs up button. About 56.
arrested by God's love, has devoted, not by force,
Reginald
labor,
Wayne.
or
Okay,
slavery.
let me read it for you. I won't play too much of his live. It's a live stream, I believe. So Reginald Wayne Miller, Missions, Cathedral, Bible College, arrested by God's love, has devoted not by forced labor or slave work, labor, students, slave labor, and with international students over 40 years to Bible colleges in the USA and bringing students from 53 nations. Okay. So he was sentenced by the Holy Spirit to serve not through forced labor, but being arrested by God's law. Huh. Yeah, that's a way to redirect and transmute, try to transmute and, linking your sentence to your church, huh? Way to go, Reginald Wayne Miller, your son is the spitting image of you. Yeah, he just looks more like a demon. Because your demon is prettier than hers. I mean, his. Is he a woman? Okay, he's possessed by a demon woman? Like, okay. I'm not a demonologist. It's disgusting.
So and they hear certain words and they shut down the whole stream and everything.
To take over and examine her death as a homicide. NewsNation investigative correspondent Rich.
Yeah. You know, I actually got information from the church and a welcome letter. I'm going to put it up next to this. Or I'll put it up in the community board. Let's listen to this.
McHugh is alive with more on this. So, Rich, what is in these new files?
Hi, Nicole. So, Pastor John Paul Miller has been posting near daily videos to TikTok saying he's looking forward to presenting some 350 pieces of evidence that he wants to share with the public that will point to who is really behind Micah's death and it will disprove all the lies in the media. In the meantime, News Nation has obtained this video through a Freedom of Information Act that has become evidence as a part of legal proceedings that John Paul Miller's ex-wife, Allison Williams, has brought against him. Williams is fighting for emergency custody of her 2 children. In the video filmed months ago, John Paul Miller admits to suicidal ideation, use of lithium, he says, and mental health issues. Take a look.
But I'm supernatural. And so I'm telling you this so that you can be encouraged that God can use you. So for the past 4 weeks, I've had the most horrible battle and horrible time of my entire life. I've never, ever, 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 not even close, been through what I'm going through right now in life. Not even close. Horrible.
Whoa.
I mean, horrible so bad. I'm seeing a psychiatrist every week. I'm on 900 milligrams of lithium. I'm seeing a counselor every week. I'm going to inner healing. I'm going to deliverance 3 times a week with pastors in the area. I'm doing everything I can just to be able to get out of bed. I'm so depressed. I want to die. I'm suicidal. I have unforgiveness, hatred, demons coming out of me. Horrible. I'm in such a bad place. I spent my Friday night at Kelly's house with women over 50 years old watching them play bunco.
Now, News Nation.
What the heck's wrong with Bunk?
Now we're gonna watch the fisherman's interview. Yeah, it's actually obtained from News Nation, the audio recordings. Huh, okay. Let's listen.
For help. Take a listen.
Hey, it's Micah.
Oh, trigger warning.
This is my new number. Please don't give it to anybody, but I
Trigger warning.
just wanted to see who your counselor was to help you. I don't want to lose myself in this, and I don't want to pursue anything out of anger or vengeance or anything like that. I just want to be free and have peace and keep.
It is her phone call to J.P. Miller's ex-wife, the mother of his children.
My soul right. So,
She sounds
if
so
you just
sad.
text me in the evening and have a good counselor, you know I greatly appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.
The video and the voicemail Williams is using as evidence in her case for the protection of her children, and they certainly add context to what was going on behind the scenes with both Pastor John Paul Miller and Micah Miller in the months leading up to her death, Nicole.
Yeah, it's really hard to hear that last sound there, Rich. So we know her family is pushing for more to.
It's incredible sad.
We'll continue to keep an eye on this. All right, Rich.
I'm sorry,
thank
I'm
you.
shivering a little.
There you go.
Sorry.
On my neck
No, we're not gonna play.
5G.
We're not gonna play that. What's the next one? The Pepper Farm. I'm gonna link all the channels below, guys.
There is so much corruption going on in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It's crazy. It's just like the Alex Murdaugh case. The corruption is getting exposed, and it's only because Micah is gone, unfortunately. Also, the FBI is investigating John Paul Miller, and so is the IRS. And Micah reported him to the IRS right before she died. John Paul was having people stalk her until she bought a gun. Now, he kept saying, he's using that as excuse, basically.
And allegedly, he also spied on her that day and have had people, we can see, if you do go to these channels, I'm gonna link them below, you're gonna see how Micah discovered. You can already see it if you go to the community board and check out my posts. You can see that she realizes these people are looking at her. They're not there to buy anything, but to watch her.
It's like, oh, I'm having people stalk her because she's mentally ill.
This was not something she made up.
And she might take her life, right? But my personal opinion is that he was waiting. He took her all of her possessions. He put her in a mental hospital, stole all of her possessions, her purse, her car, everything, and her weapons.
We know that.
So he knew that she would want to go buy one.
And here
So
you go.
then she goes to the pawn shop and buys one.
Look,
and
there's
three
one of the times she sees this dude or the younger one.
She just knows she's being followed.
You see?
Which would explain why it is
She's
driving
scared.
in all these directions that we don't understand.
And look, this is a map of her traveling. She was in Robeson County, so why did the dispatch say that she can't find her there, huh? It's the reason for everything, guys. Everything's connected
His old phone
to this
and
place.
pretended to be her and sent messages out to other people, like sexual ones, to make her look like she's nuts. That's what his
Yeah, that's what my #Spidey, #Spider-Man did to me. Could still be doing it.
MO was from the beginning. He also groomed and abused other.
They love to torment people. You know, he might be the one that placed my daughter too. That keeps sending me message. I received a second message, and I now believe it could be from my #Spidey, the narc in my life, the father. No, he doesn't deserve that. The dad, the genetic dad of hers. He portrays to be her, to try to create more disconnect between us. And she's autistic, so he's abusing my autistic daughter. Still, he's still doing it. I got a second message saying, "Hey mama, it's me. I broke my phone. This is my new number, and I know for a fact it's not a number in my country. It's a number you can purchase online. It's the second time the narc did it to me. He's already created big distance between me and my autistic daughter. Has also ADHD, so she's on medications. And he liked those medications. That's all I'm gonna say. Just like JP.
Girls,
They're the
children
same.
at the church, and that he admitted
Therefore,
to
I am
his
Micah.
ex-wife Allison
Micah was
that he
me.
was with before
That's
Micah,
Allison.
and he was stalking Micah, and then he hired
She
guys,
was
and she
treated
would see recordings
miserably
of him
too
stalking her, and then he put razor
by
blades
JP.
in her tires.
Razor
So basically,
blades in her
she's driving.
tires? How can that not be an attempt? And this is me asking a real question, please. If you know the answer to why J.P. Miller was not put in prison for putting razor blades in her tires or having someone doing so, like he made the PI and other people put tracking devices on her car too, in her home probably as well, maybe even cameras. He had full control of her and she knew it, which is why she bought the gun. Papa, not to unalive herself, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. And this is not what's coming next. What I'm going to say next is I stand with Micah Acacia's family. Hashtag justice for Micah.
And her tire pops. Like, if she's on the freeway, she could basically kill somebody else.
And herself.
That's why he goes and confronts him. And then we find out Susie is definitely one of JP's
Susie Skinner, here we have her.
Susie, she's caught being with the JP right after Micah dies, right?
But we know they've been together, they've been lovers for years.
Nobody else wanted to go out to eat with him. He was my friend. And just so you know, Micah was doing all these crazy things. Like, she threw a belt out the window in the car and things like that. Like, she's just smearing Micah and